What's going on, everybody? Carolina Combat back here today. We're here with Ferrum's brand new head coach, Coach Blake Roulo. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate it. Obviously, y'all's following's growing, so what better place to have my first interview than here?
Yeah, I mean, let's just kind of just cut to the chase here. Longtime coach Averett had a very successful, career there. Why Ferrum, and what kind of just sparked the move now?
So, I mean, like you said, I was at Averett 8 years of my life. Um, I was there 2 years as a graduate assistant, where they paid for my MBA, and 6 years, the past 6 years as a head coach. And they actually approached me, and Logan Meister did a really good job there for the past 4 years. But I always knew I wanted to be a Division II head coach in the state of Virginia specifically. And I knew I wanted to be an assistant athletic director. And so when we started conversations, and I ended up going there, and I saw I saw the scholarship opportunities, both athletically, academically, and then what they're able to do for need-based kids. And I'll be honest with you, it was a no-brainer. And like, you add in the assistant athletic director part onto it, it just it's a place that you can win, not a year from now, 2 years from now, but decades from now. And so
Right.
to me, it was a no-brainer, like going up a division while they're transitioning.
Yeah, I mean, kind of building into that, how does that change your recruiting and kind of your like roster setup? Because Division III level, you can't offer athletic money, so I got to imagine that changes kind of everything for you as a coach.
Well, I think from my standpoint, you're just attracted to better guys. Like, I'll put it to you like this: when the news broke, my phone didn't stop going. I mean, initially, your first 2 to 3 days, it's congratulations, like all this, but then all of a sudden, you got guys reaching out to you who are already in the transfer portal, from Division I schools. And at the Division III level, you're chasing down those guys as soon as you see them. But now all of a sudden, you got those Virginia kids hitting me up. I had a kid who was at West Virginia hitting me up, and now all of a sudden, Ferrum's Division II, I'm the head coach. Holy cow! And so I think you just attract a better clientele right out the gate. The transfer portal is a more realistic opportunity. Just being Division II, the state of Virginia has been missing that.
Right.
There really hasn't been a Division II in the state of Virginia that's been like really bringing in the top guys. And I think that's something that we're definitely going to be able to do, and we've already started that process with guys.
Right.
Initially, there was, I want to say, one guy coming in. We got about 12 guys coming in. Majority of them are transfers. So we feel pretty good about this upcoming year. And as far as the transition process, do you want me to explain that, how it works?
Yeah, we were going to kind of break that down. How are you going to navigate? Because I know you guys are going to have the conference schedule, but you will have the opportunity, since there's no postseason for 2 years, you can wrestle, like the club nationals with Liberty, Apprentice, all those schools.
Yeah. So, I mean, as far as like recruiting, bringing guys in, I mean, Averett was costing quite a bit more than Ferrum does, right? And
Right.
so we typically started most years with, on low end would be in the 50s, on high end you're talking about mid 60 roster sizes. And I think, as we stayed top 25 majority of my time there, it was pretty easy to bring kids in for the most part.
Right.
But as far as, like, and it's going to be used against us in a recruiting, because I used it against Ferrum in recruiting. But now you're kind of like recruiting against yourself in a way.
Right. Right.
Uh, I look at it this way: guys, we have the opportunity to bring home a club team trophy. And I believe in year two, we can bring home a club national team trophy. So the NCAA will be in that conference, most likely with Liberty and Apprentice. Well, Apprentice was second in the national at the national tournament. I want to say Liberty was fourth. Um,
Right.
so I feel like we're going to be right there with programs like Tarleton State. But I think it's really interesting when your regular season, for a fact, is going to be tougher than your postseason.
Right.
And that just is what it is.
Yeah,
The guys
absolutely.
the guys currently on the roster have been wrestling a nationally ranked Division III schedule. Now we're going to have a nationally ranked Division II schedule. And it's going to be different navigating it because they can still redshirt either year. But the guys we're bringing in, hey, you want a redshirt and do all D2 this upcoming class? Absolutely. If you
Right.
want to compete right away and wrestle, whether it's at club national duels or you want to compete, because people don't understand this about club. You can enter in as many participants as you want at the conference tournament. Top
Yep.
four go to the national tournament. Like last year, not
I
trying to
think.
do not trying to do free publication, free press for them, but Apprentice entered in 27 guys, 22 qualified.
Yep.
That's a pretty cool opportunity for some guys who never will break the lineup.
Right. Absolutely.
So I look at it almost as a blessing and an exciting challenge where we get to bring in kids and everybody gets a postseason. You all have a reason to train. It's not just 10 guys wrestling in the postseason, it's all of us. And if guys want a red shirt along the way, I'm going to give them that freedom to do so. But I think it's really important that we start off right away, wrestling everyone.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think a big difference at Ferrum, you're going to have your own standalone wrestling facility, not having a shared gym. So, how does that kind of change your practice setup and just how you're able to prepare your team?
Oh, it's so exciting.
Yeah.
like like I mean, it was I love Averett. I love everything we did at Averett. It's a special place. I got married and divorced there, so it's
Yeah.
I got to start that journey with her, and that ended this year, and rightfully so. I'm going on to the next thing, but
Right.
I think when you add in the fact that you have your own standalone facility where guys can get in the work whenever they want to get in work, where you have a full-time assistant and a full-time assistant who's very credentialed in Levi Engelman. I mean, he's an NCAA All-American. He's won the Southeast Open, which used to be called the Hokie Open. Like, he was ranked number one in the country before.
Yep.
I don't care what division you're at, D3, D2, D1, you're a dude if you end up ranked number one in the nation. And
Absolutely.
so I think with Levi having been there for as long as he's been there, now heading into his second or third year as a full-time assistant, and then you add in my track record with not having a wrestling room or even my own office. Uh,
Right. Right.
it's like I just feel like what we can do here. Like one thing I want to do with the facility, like they have a Ferrum wrestling room, a section in the building that like when you go upstairs, it's almost like an academic area.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so like they got trophies you can kind of see.
Yeah.
Well, what I don't want to do is forget about the past. You
Right.
know, like they were the Ferrum was established in 2013 by Nate Yetzer, and they came right out the gate blazing. I mean, they were the first ones really in Virginia, pioneers outside of Division One that were killing it, and they won that regional title in 2017, along with all the conference championships. I think from an alumni standpoint and from a program standpoint, we can't forget about that. So
Absolutely.
I have plans to, renovate that area. I would like to spend a portion of that area as almost like a memorabilia to all the previous
Absolutely.
staff, the previous wrestlers who were on those conference championship teams, because just because you were wrestling Division III, that doesn't mean you were beneath what we're doing in Division II. It's just a different chapter. Without the success they had in Division III, it's kind of hard to imagine where the program would be at today. So whether it was Yetzer, Riggs, or Meister, I think it's important that we give those guys their flowers, and those previous wrestlers they had their flowers, just so we can continue the tradition and a new future. So
Right.
I think it needs to be something dedicated to partially, not all of it, but I think there should be I believe a third of that room that's dedicated to the past, because it is a very rich tradition of success.
Absolutely. Great to hear things like that. I got to ask you though, you guys did have, your last year Averett did wrestle at Ferrum. Did you ever think in a few months you'd be sitting where you are now?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
So, it's funny. Like I consider like Meister's obviously one of my colleagues, and he's someone I consider a friend. And at no point did Ferrum come on the radar with, as far as a possible place I'd end up. It was funny, and you could kind of use context clues with it. But I was a finalist for another gig in
Right.
in Virginia, and that gig didn't work out. And it was like, all right, here we go at Averett, let's get it. And I got the call, man, and it just kind of happened. And
Right.
so it no, I did not. I never expected it
Yeah.
to happen. Um, and I never expected we'd get on the same terms. And we kind of were going back and forth for about 2 weeks during that process, and we came to a situation that everyone could feel happy about.
Absolutely. Yeah, I guess I gotta ask you, like, for your ideal recruit and your wrestler, what does your ideal Ferrum wrestler look like?
I think it has to be somebody who's gritty, who's obviously tough. You want guys who are accomplished, but at the same time, you want somebody who's not going to give you a headache.
Right.
And I think that the most important priority is their academics. If we bring in a kid who's got a high GPA, that's going to be less stress on us. Like,
Absolutely.
that's number one. Like, the academics have to be the most important thing. The second priority, the social behavior, is like, listen, are you gonna give more to the program than you take? And I'm not talking about like money wise. I'm just talking about like time and effort. Like, I know some really good wrestlers at Averett who never had 10 wins. But you know what? They handled our social media accounts. They always were there for representing us at captains and leaders meeting. Uh, when we did cans across the conference, those guys made sure we led the Averett department 2 years in a row. So it's like, I think it's always going to be about giving more than you take. And that last priority of wrestling, we have to have wrestlers who value progression over results, because 80%, and this is something you can go and look up, 80% of the starting lineup at Averett was one-time state placers. And majority of those guys ended up in the national rankings, ended up all conference, ended up all region. And I found this out when, they actually posted the article, but we beat 21 Division II programs with
Wow. Yeah.
no athletic scholarships.
Yeah.
We beat 21, majority of the Conference Carolinas. And so what do you think we're about to do with money?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Like, it's going to be exciting, because we were able to take those kids and turn them into something special, make them believe in themselves. So I would say the number one thing is we're going to bring in recruits who aren't satisfied with their high school career, who are a little pissed off from it, who value their progression over the results. It's not about winning or losing. It's about getting better every single day. And so those are the type of kids we're after. We want gritty kids who don't always talk about their high school results. All they care about is just getting better each day. Because
Absolutely.
you know those college guys, they go to college and then all they end up doing is talk about, oh, I did this in high school, I did that.
Oh yeah.
So it's about doing something when you're there. And then once you're done, yeah, you can talk about both. But while you're in
Absolutely.
college, you can't be reflecting on the past. You got to be on the next thing forward.
Absolutely. I guess for your coaching style, how do you think it is different from other coaches? I guess kind of what is your coaching style?
Um, I would say it's obviously very intense from the way a lot of people see me. Um, yes, I'm intense, but I think the biggest thing is I'm honest with my athletes. I don't. I think there's a time to be hard, and there's a time where you got to bring people up, right? So, um, like I'll give you an example. Like, when a guy wrestles his last match, there is no point in you being a dick to a kid.
Right.
How does that help him? His season just ended. Even if he did every single thing wrong, I don't see that how that helps anybody. It's like, you need to tell him about all the great things he did, and you need to, tell him how much you love him. And I think a lot of times in college wrestling, and I don't care that I'm moving up in a division, I think it's really important that kids understand that you love them and they understand that you care about them. Like, one thing that like I implement is no kids allowed to practice with me until they have a resume.
Right.
So whether you're an incoming freshman, sophomore, this upcoming year, if you don't have your resume done, you're not practicing. I don't care if it's open mat. And so right away, you're telling the kids, hey, I value this more than you getting better at wrestling. So if you don't want to do your resume, okay, you don't have to practice. But if you don't practice, it's going to be really hard to start. And if it's hard to win if you don't practice. You got to get in shape somehow, right? And so
Absolutely.
I think it's really important. And I know I don't get enough credit from that from the outside looking in, but I would imagine if majority of the kids were talked to about how is Blake Roulo, the number one thing they're going to say is, oh, he's crazy. But the number two thing they're going to follow that up with is he really cares about his athletes.
Yeah, absolutely. At Averett, y'all's slogan was "Be the villain." Do you have a new one for Ferrum yet, or are you still working on that one?
I'm still working on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the Be the Villain was awesome.
We chose hashtag Be the Villain.
Because Averett was a rugged group of guys.
Oh yeah.
And I think we did a good job embracing that role. But it's a different group, man. You
Right.
you can bring certain things about the previous program with you, but you can't just bring the program with you, So
Right.
I think it has to come naturally. Like I can't do a hashtag and then never talk to about anybody on the team with it, right?
Right.
Or Levi with it on staff. It's just I got to figure it out. I'll get back to you on that one, but I'm not
Absolutely.
100% sure yet. Because I was gonna do hashtag the build, and then I was like, oh crap, Roanoke did that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm gonna figure out. I would imagine I'll probably have something within the next week or two, if I had to
Gotcha.
guess.
Gotcha. Yeah, I guess, with the guys you already kind of have on the, roster that are sticking around, how do you work to build trust with the, guys that were already within the program?
I think they just got to see you work. I think that's the biggest thing. And it's nobody, people, a lot of times college athletes don't realize this, but you're held accountable to those student athlete questionnaires.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
in my entire 6 years, I never got anything below a perfect score on my knowledge of the sport of wrestling. So I never it was like out of 6, and I never even got a 5. And
Right.
so it was, I think the important thing is to show you care and show that you're holding them accountable. Because yes, that may turn some kids off I'm not even gonna call it micromanaging. I would just call it standards and expectations.
Right.
And so when you have certain standards and expectations, that's gonna pull some kids away, but it's also gonna, I feel like, bring out the best in certain kids on the roster. And don't get it twisted. I think there's some really good wrestlers on this team, and I think there's some kids who haven't hit their full potential on this team. Like
Absolutely.
I'm really excited about a lot of those guys. And yeah, we got some transfers coming in and some young guys coming in, but this is going to be the nucleus that starts the new tradition, the new wave of wrestling. So,
Absolutely.
um, yeah, I'm excited to work with a lot of those guys, and I called each one up individually. And I think it helps when you understand kids wrestling. Like
Right.
I didn't just call them and was like, hey, like I actually watched film on each kid.
Right.
Whether it
Right.
was some of it, I couldn't get stuff unless it was from high school. Some of it was college, but a lot of it I realized I knew just watching them either throughout the years or in this past season. Because
Right. Right.
they were in conference and we had to game plan. So
Absolutely.
I think it's a good core. I'm excited to work with them now. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I guess kind of going into your other role, your assistant AD role, what is that kind of going to entail, and how does that kind of intersect with your coaching role?
So, I mean, I think the biggest thing is that they're probably going to give me day one that, so first off, I'm going to be working directly with the head athletic director, Cleve Adams. So kind of like how this happened so quick, because I'm pretty sure if you look on the NCAA market, like the job is still posted.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
So my relationship with the athletic director goes back to my first when I was a graduate assistant and when I was a head coach at Averett. So Cleve Adams was the head coach at Averett back then, and they were killing it. They were 8 and football was like our best sport on campus.
Right.
And so they were 8-2 and 7-3. I want to say one of those was a conference title. I could be wrong, but Cleve saw me as a graduate assistant bring in 23 kids with no training. Like the head coach Tommy Owen was
Oh
like,
yeah,
"Hey, you're in charge of recruiting. It's not me. You're in charge of it." And so he saw me do that, and he saw the numbers for wrestling because we had a weekly report.
right.
And he was like, "Oh, that kid's a grinder." And then he saw me as a head coach. Obviously, he saw the way I ran practice, and I think in the back of his mind, and I don't know this to be factual, but just based on conversations, I would think in the back of his mind, he kind of always knew that he was going to reach out to me if the opportunity ever presented itself.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to be working right behind him. You know, whatever he asks, I'm going to do. I think they're planning on easing me into it in year one. And then I think year two is where we're really going to get the ball rolling. But I'm excited about, like, I plan on helping out with like game day management, atmosphere, things like that. Probably group fundraising because, you know, we led Averett every year while I was there in that. So basically doing whatever he tells me to do, man. There's 24 hours in a day and we sleep 6 of them. I think I can figure out something to do for him every day.
Absolutely. Yeah, as you mentioned, Coach Engelman will be remaining on staff. Is there any other staff updates you can speak on this time, or are you still trying to work out on the other positions?
So working out small details. You know, I can tell you rumor that there's a previous nationally ranked heavyweight, couple-time All-American we're looking to keep on staff.
Yep,
But I got to get there before any of that ends up happening. But the plan is I got to do a bunch of fundraising this first year, a bunch of recruiting. Obviously, you add the wrestling on top. It's just going to be a very busy year. Um,
absolutely.
but I think it's really important that we get the ball rolling and we get a second full-time assistant in there. The past couple years while I was at Averett, and because I love Averett, absolutely love it, but I always had a feeling I was going to be heading out. You know, just been at Averett a long time, man, long time.
Absolutely.
I mean, I was there right when the program started, and so I've held back on some big ask, which I don't believe I want to hold back. I believe that this is the place to be. Otherwise, I wouldn't have left it. I'll be honest with you, man. Like this gig right here, being one of 2 Division II programs in the state of Virginia, it's just, man, I don't know how. It's too exciting of an opportunity, not just for us, but for the state of Virginia and all the local states nearby. It's like we're going to have this thing rolling, and it may take a
Absolutely.
year, it may take 2 years, but we're going to have this thing rolling, and it's going to be real exciting to see.
Yeah, speaking on that, I mean, obviously you're going to recruit out of state, but how important is it to keep these top, Virginia guys, in state at Ferrum?
It's going to be very important because in the state of Virginia, nobody, from my experience at Averett, you know, it's like we're going to be the most affordable school. Like we're going to be almost like App State in North Carolina. So I just feel like it's going to be a no brainer. Because dude, school's getting it's getting crazy
Believe me, I know.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's getting crazy
Yeah.
ridiculous at a lot of
Crazy.
places. And, you know, I genuinely feel like when it comes to the most affordable price and the best student athlete experience, I think we're going to end up having the best student athlete experience because of the fact that we're going to be in Division II. Like you have Division I world where it's a 30-man roster limit now. You
Right.
have the Division III world where, you know, it's a little bit of pay to play. And then you have the Division II world where it's a mixture of both. And
Right.
so we're not going to have a roster limit and we're going to make sure guys are competing. And so it just, like Virginia's always missed that Division II.
Right.
We've always missed it. And because I believe, I personally believe that more of the top wrestlers in the state of Virginia are closer to Division II, like whether it's big scholarship, partial scholarship. I've always felt a lot of our best kids in Virginia are closer to Division II wrestlers than they were Division I wrestlers.
Right.
And so now with the 30-man roster limits, I think it's going to actually give us an opportunity where we're going to be able to expand and get even better strength in our core roster.
Where do you see the program in the next 5 years?
I see us top 10. I see us consistently top 10. Like there's really no excuse outside of the top 10. Like within 5 years, within 5 years, I truly believe we can have a team trophy. And I understand it's going to be tough. It's going to be competitive. And I understand 5 years is a long way away, but it really isn't. Like it really is not. Like my first year as head coach at Averett, we were 9-9. And then the next 2 years combined, we went 33-7 and we beat a Division I program. And so a lot can happen in a short amount of time. And I think the biggest thing is to not have small expectations, but huge standards. And if you have big standards, it's up to your athletes and your coaches to follow them. And it's our job to like kind of live it that way. Like guys are going to be doing off season. Guys are going to be doing preseason. It's like, yeah, I understand there's rules and regulations, but what are the best guys doing? They train year round.
Right.
So it's creating that expectation and that culture where you never say never. You always find a way to do more. Optional, like everything is optional, but it's also optional to be great. So
absolutely,
that's just it's what it's going to be. So I think year one expectations are simple. You keep it more about the club scene. Bring home a NCAA club team trophy. As far as how many qualifiers goes, probably looking at 15 or more qualifiers. All Americans look from anywhere from 6 to 8. You do that, you're going to bring home a club trophy. And so I think in year one, that's the expectation. In year two, I think we try to win the whole thing. And I think if these guys, it's like, okay, we're not in Division II postseason for these first 2 years. But guess what? We get to compete in the regular season with them. We get to spend money on athletes in the regular season with them. And then in postseason, you get an opportunity to be a national champ. And I think that's good for coaches' development too. Because guess what?
Absolutely.
Guess what? We've never won a national semis at Averett. I used to say it to kids all the time. I was like, listen, we've gotten kids to the national semis. We've gotten 5 kids to the national semis. We ain't been in that national finals yet. So
right.
I believe in
great opportunity.
I believe right away we'll be in the national finals, and that's going to be good for my development as a coach. Because I believe we're going to have multiple national finalists, and club is going to have some good guys there. Don't get it twisted.
Oh, absolutely.
There's good wrestlers at every division of wrestling. So
Liberty, they train like a D1 program. So yeah.
Yeah. So it's just important that we don't just pretend like the postseason is going to be easy. We're going to have to work for it. But it is one of those things where when you're talking about a year down the road, 2 years down the road, it's like, all right, year 3, it's like 5 years down the road, I believe we can bring home a team trophy. And it's going to take a lot of work on the staff. It's going to take a lot of work on the kids in the program. And we have to do things a little different than we did at Averett, and that's fine. Different can be challenging and better.
Yeah, so we saw you were at Fargo. What was your Fargo experience like this year?
Awesome. I think in years past, right? I think it was. It's not that it was like any worse, right? I just think that when you have a guy like Mark Strickland in charge, who's the Olympic director, like Mark Strickland was rounded 12 at Old Dominion. He wrestled at Oklahoma State. He's a JUCO national champ, couple times state champ at Great Bridge. He wrestled for Steve Martin and John Smith. When that guy is in charge, all the egos go out the window. And I think you see that with a lot of states where it's like everybody feels like they should be that or they should be this, whatever. And so, like, he asked me to be the junior director of Virginia. And so I had to recruit for that junior duels team. We went 6-2 in Greco, 5-2 in freestyle. But I mean, it was an awesome experience, mainly because it was like you got to see so much energy from the staff. You had some real dudes on that staff for us. Like me and Braswell and Coach E2 did the majority of the Greco-Roman workouts. It was awesome, man. We had 28 guys make day 2 at Fargo for
Awesome.
Greco, 9 guys in the blood round and 5 All-Americans. And so I want to say we finished 15th in the country for cadet Greco. And so it's like when you look at our age level directors and you look at our regional directors, everyone all the way around, it was so much individual before, but the way they have the setup now, man, it's really a team. And that's what
Right.
I think we've been missing throughout the years is like that whole team camaraderie. And I believe we have it now.
Yeah, I gotta ask you, what was it like, being able to compete in the, NCAA Division I tournament?
Man, oh God. Competing there is like there's a reason why Iowa and Penn State do as well as they do.
Right.
Because they have the fan atmosphere that prepares them for it. I wrestled my whole life, man. I started wrestling at the age of 5 and still kind of wrestle until today, or at least I attempt to, right? But at 23, I mean, I'm trying to think. So I qualified when I was 20 years old. So I'm 16 years into wrestling at that point. Nothing compares to it.
Yeah.
There's no tournament. Like there's no tournament that compares to that Division I national tournament. And I know I'm a former Division III coach, and now I'm a Division II head coach. I'm going
Yeah.
to be at the club nationals this year, and I can just tell you and my brother qualified this past year for Lander. And
Yeah.
so here I am. I'm just telling you, man, there's no experience like it because every seat is filled. And
Yeah.
everybody's interested in almost every round of the entire tournament because like the backside round when you lose your first round, people are watching it because those are going to be the guys of the future.
Right.
And so it's awesome, man. I actually qualified the year Dake and Taylor met in the finals.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So it was it was pretty dope, but I definitely do not feel good about my performance whatsoever.
Right.
I feel like it was a terrible performance. I lost to Josh Russo on the backside. He's actually the head coach at Misericordia now. So it is kind of weird how like some of the guys you compete against, you end up coaching against. So that's an
Right.
interesting part of it.
Yeah. So I know it was coached at Division III level. I guess what was kind of the difference, wrestling in the nationals and then coaching it?
I think I mean it's weird, right? Like so competing at the conference or national tournament in Division I from a competitor standpoint is amazing, but when you watch others achieve their goals, I would say more so in the regional tournament.
Right.
Like because that's where a lot of the upsets happen, at least for a lot of our guys. Um, it's pretty special, man. Like helping others achieve their goals. That is that that almost like I always refer to it as wrestling demons, right? Like I had this huge high school resume and then a one-time qualifier in Division One, and it's like, yeah, you underperform big time, right? But where I like get peace with my wrestling demons, because I think we all have them to a point where we're like, these things make us feel like we ain't do nothing in our lives, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
Like
for sure.
we all got them, whether it's you lost in the state finals, whether you lost in the Beast East finals, don't matter. You have all these wrestling demons where when you think about it, it pisses you off.
Absolutely.
And I think for guys like me who greatly underperformed their college career, we're able to tap into that anger and use it towards positivity in order for the betterment of our guys because we don't want them to feel that anger and misery we feel.
Right.
And I believe that is why I know I'm destined to do this for a very long time because they're not all the way gone yet,
Right.
And I will say this, like there's brief moments where, man, you help a kid succeed and he does that. And, like for 1 year we had 6 national qualifiers and it's amazing. All these guys are accomplishing their dreams. And then 2 weeks later, damn, the little demon starts talking.
Right.
Yeah, you ain't done nothing. And then it's right back to it again. And so
Absolutely.
it's exciting helping people reward themselves because I know from my perspective, I know what they're thinking going into that semis because I've been there. I know what they're thinking in the match to go to nationals. I know what they're thinking at the NCAA tournament. And so it's like so much of this game is psychological. And so if you can get dudes to believe that they can beat someone they got no business touching the mat with, it can make them a very dangerous competitor. And
Right.
so it's just all sorts of things I've learned throughout the years to kind of help athletes perform at their best.
Yeah, and wrap up, I guess, like, if any, potential recruits or athletes are watching this, how can they get in contact with you and, things like that?
I mean, I think the biggest thing is just DM us on Instagram. DM us on Instagram. Reach out. I'm assuming by the time this drops, my phone number is going to be online. The biggest thing with me is just call me. It's like I'll be honest with you. Like when the news dropped, I had easily over like 150 text messages. Obviously, I'm working on getting those all done with. But man, if a kid wants to reach out, just hit my phone number up online. Email me once I get an email.
Yeah. Oh,
I
yeah.
technically don't start until August 1st. I'm still helping out Averett in the transition process. But yeah, no, I mean, just be prepared, ready to work. And yeah, I mean, that's really the biggest thing.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, thanks for coming on and talking about the program, and best of luck in your guys' season.
Appreciate it, man. Hey, thanks for having me on. I love what you're doing. Podcasts like this, media outlets like this, we need stuff like this to help build the wrestling brand. So I appreciate it.